beach is beautiful. It's freezing, but beautiful. There's a wolf dog. I have a confession to make. And my confession is this, that for many years I've been trying to communicate something that seems to be generally almost entirely incommunicable unless the person who listens and perhaps comes to understand has had a similar impact on their psyche, which has in turn produced a similar structure to their psyche. And if they don't, then I can't communicate this particular thing. Wow, isn't that a beautiful wave? Isn't that the most excellent wave ever? Wow, it's beautiful. It's cold. Anyway, this concept of fragility, it has a different meaning to me than it does to the contemporary modern Westerner. In fact, I would say it has the exact opposite meaning, regrettably, and hence the problems of communication. Let's go for a bit of a jog. The problem of communication is that my sense of the sacred is directly linked to my sense of life's fragility. And when I say fragile, what I mean is sacred. But that's not the same thing for a modern person who does not wish to be fragile. For him, fragility, it would seem, evokes the worst kind of emotions and sensations. They want to be the opposite to fragile. I also want to be the opposite to fragile, actually. But my sense of the sacred is hinged on the sense of life being what it is. Oh, I'm going to get wet. I mean, you can't have beauty, you can't have the delight of the passing moment without some sense that this is a fragile moment that's passing you by. It's not only the origins of the sense of the sacred, but also aesthetics. Why capture a picture in that moment? Unless it's something that can never be captured again. But I fear and I know that the modern person generally has a different sense. Different sensibility. Than I do. And it's lovely here. If I were to be so bold, I would say that my sense of the sacred comes about from my sense that it's an amazing thing for me to have survived. When I was doing a short, as it were, military stint, one of those things that the recruits found is that they couldn't be seen to be, standing in a position where it was obvious that they could be seen. They were exposing their sense of being independent, I suppose, or not being part of the great giant system that they were supposed to be a part of. So you were going to be yelled at if you were not on the move or not hidden away. That sense that you are going to have it coming to you no matter what you do, and that the survival mechanism you need to invoke is to hide in one way or another, either by becoming regimented or by not exposing yourself visibly. That's the sensation that I grew up with as well. And hence, to me, it's amazing that I survived. It's amazing that I'm here, that I have being, that I have sensations, that I can experience life. Because my survival has an aura of wonderful fragility. And this is, for me, the most positive sensation, the most sacred, if that word makes any sense. Probably doesn't. It's the difference between eating delicacies all the time and eating meat and 2 veggies. I feel like I had to overcome a lot of guilt to survive, a lot of shame. And hence my survival is miraculous. My survival, my sense of just being alive is an amazing sensation. Hence fragility to me is an amazing sensation, very desirable. But then I realized that for the contemporary moderner, it necessarily must be the opposite. I never deeply understood that. I never imagined that they would not feel that same way about notional or actual fragility. And I think it's the source of my mistakes when I've become entwined with fragile narcissists, because their sensation of their own fragility is the exact opposite to mine. And so it becomes a very dangerous scenario. That's much to be regretted. To me, it's a beautiful, wonderful sensation to be alive, to know that one is alive, to know that the chances of one being whole and being alive and being here are and were so slim. A lot of people died in the war that I came out of. A lot of people didn't make it. I feel guilty that I'm here, but at the same time, even that sense of feeling guilty has an element of some atonement, some sacred measure that I can live, because somehow life gives me life. I should go for a run.